Holy shit. You want to go early? Okay, no worries. So then I jumped out of bed, went for a run, and then came home, and it's like, yep, jump in the shower, whatever else. I still got the mark from my hat and everything that I had this morning, so that I could be back and be ready to go for you guys to record it. You know, just after 8 my time.
You don't have to worry about the hat mark too much. We're only posting them to YouTube now.
Oh, that's okay.
There's only video. It's fine.
Only the second largest search engine in the world. No big deal.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait, you mean it's not Bing?
What was I watching? There was a movie the other day I was watching, and excuse me, they clearly went to do an internet search, and it came up with Bing as the search engine.
Oh boy!
I think it might have been I'll probably get shot down for this, but it was a 2.5 minute episode with Ashton Kutcher, and I think he has shares in Microsoft or something. So everything in that show related around whatever he had business interest in.
Coincidence? I think not.
Yeah, I listened to the podcast with him and Dax on Dax's show. Like, that was really enlightening. It makes you rewatch that 70s show and be like, he's a really good actor for acting like a complete dummy the whole time. Like,
also, rewatching that 70s show now, knowing what we know about the other guy.
Yeah. No, there's lots of creepy stuff everywhere on that show.
But Kutcher actually seems like an okay person.
Especially when you realize that I think Mila Kunis's age when they started was 15.
Yeah, she was really young. Like
really young.
But also, like in I don't know if you ever watched The OC, but the two like love interests, like she was like 17 and he was like 29 or something. It's like, okay, let's not revisit that one.
When did The OC come out?
The OC? I was.
Did it be 2000s maybe?
I was in middle school or high school?
First of all, it's available to watch through HBO Max right now.
Oh, there you go. But does anyone watch HBO Max?
Nobody needs to do that.
I have it. I've been watching tons of stuff lately.
Yeah, there's a lot of good content.
Another bad admission, but I've been watching Old Miami Vice.
Oh.
That's not bad.
The cars in that show, like, there's some cool stuff in there.
Mm-hmm.
I've got to look it up, but there was a really cool four-door Maserati in an episode the other week. It's like, beautiful red. I meant to take a screenshot. Like, it was really, really cool.
Dude, okay, so I'm rewatching Burn Notice, which is also Miami, but 15 years later.
I love that show.
Yeah, it's like,
it's
not bad. It's just, I mean, they're campy as hell, but they're just like pure mindless entertainment.
It's like a serious version of Roger Moore Bond. Because it still has the camp.
Yeah.
But, like, it's a little more... it's like if it was more of a dry tone, like, even. Like...
Yeah. I haven't seen the Roger Moore movies in 15 years. 15?
Probably
20
years ago,
years.
Ross was, like, 12.
But Sam Axe
I was 15.
Sam Axe is awesome. And there's actually a prequel to it all.
The movie.
The Fall of Sam Axe.
Yeah, I've seen that too.
Yeah.
So good. Watched it like 5 times.
Yeah. He makes that show though.
Bruce Campbell's
made it
fantastic.
through what's his zombie show? I made it like 2/3 of the way. Evil Dead.
Evil Dead.
Yeah, made it like 2/3 of the way through and still have to finish it. He's the best though.
Isn't Stan versus the Evil Dead?
There's a couple of, there was a spin-off somewhere, wasn't
Maybe.
there?
Well, there was a movie and there was a show and like books, I think. But Bruce Campbell's supposed to be like the best, the nicest, and like the just genuinely funniest dude.
Oh, what I'm thinking of Stan Against Evil is not who I thought it was. It's the doctor from Scrubs. Crap, what's his name?
Which one?
Oh, I know who you're thinking of. The guy who's in everything.
The guy, he was Perry. What is that actor's name? I'm so dumb right now. And
Guy's an asshole.
He's your friend.
Say it.
IMDb is your friend.
Yeah, John C. McGinley.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
He has a cameo in Wild Hogs that makes me laugh.
Does he?
Forgot about that movie.
It's a terrible movie. like William H. Macy like shows off his tattoo and it's like the old Macintosh Apple. Like it's a horrible movie, but he plays like a state trooper that somehow ends up following these guys around the American West.
Forgot about that one. That was,
and it has some overtones to it, but
yeah, no, in hindsight. Anyway, shall we?
Yes. Welcome to the Off the Road Again podcast. I'm Chris.
I'm Ross.
And I'm Joel.
And that's it. That's all of us. Robbie couldn't make it, so
that's a shame. I was looking
the
forward to catching
audience
up with
didn't
him.
really need to know that. I could have withheld that, I guess.
We could have announced his grand reappearance next time.
And maybe that's what we'll do next time. We will, like the episode where you were sick and then you were back.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man, dude, that was when I had the flu and I thought I had coronavirus. And now here we are like 7 months later.
Yeah, that is kind of the weird thing is I was looking at like the date timeline for the last time like Joel was on the show and what the world was then versus what it is now. And I was like, really not much has changed. That was March.
Still sucks.
I wanted to be back on with the lineup you guys have had in the last few weeks. Far out.
Yeah, well, I mean, Joel, you've been slinging press cars like crazy, so you actually have stuff to talk about. We don't.
I actually had a small gap where I actually had some stuff I could drive in between lockdowns here in Australia, so I managed the schedules.
Did you guys lock down like hard, reopen, and then lock down again?
Correct. And we're the only state to do it as well. So I'm in Victoria, which is in the southern part of Australia. And we locked down like everyone else in that sort of March, April period. And then we started to slowly open up in sort of, it's all blurs into one now, into May, June. And then coming into August, we had a flare up that effectively turned into, and look, it's weird. Australia's roughly the same population as Florida, and we're nowhere near is in the same diet straits that Florida is in cases. But at our worst, we were getting 700 cases a day. And the government here in Victoria decided that we were going to lock down and hard lockdown. So you literally cannot leave the house unless you're allowed to work if you're in a permitted industry. So I'm effectively unable to work at the moment.
And that industry is probably limited to like healthcare and food supply, right? Like
pretty much. They're the main thing in transport and that sort of stuff, and mainly healthcare, medical, and that sort of stuff. So like car dealerships, real estate agents, all retail is closed. Food, though, there's a lot of restaurants can do takeaway only and stuff like that. But we've been in lockdown for a hard lockdown since the first week of August. And we were supposed to reopen next week, but the numbers aren't low enough for them to be happy to continue. So we literally can leave the house for an hour a day of exercise. So I've been out and had my run this morning. And then one person from the household can go shopping once a day. So I was going to head out after we finish here. I'm going to head out and do our shopping for the household this morning, but it's masks. We have to wear a mask as soon as you leave the house since probably sometime in July. And I tell you what though, and I don't know about you guys about plugs, but I'm just going to do a little shout out. The blip shift masks are brilliant when you want to go for a run and wear a mask and do the right thing, because they're thin. And they allow you to breathe, but I only wear them when I'm going for a run. I don't wear them when I'm out shopping or anything like that. We have a proper 3-ply mask that we use.
Yeah, not an N95 substitute.
Correct, exactly. And these 3-ply cloth ones are great, but the blip shift ones are brilliant for running, just because you give you that sense of protection, but then you can still breathe. So it's been fun. As I said, we're supposed to reopen on Monday, which is my birthday here, and I was hoping for a great birthday present of being able to re-enter, the world, be it still limited, but no, we've now continued this lockdown till at least the end of September, probably into the end of October.
Man.
But yeah, we haven't had the daily numbers come in yet today, but yesterday we were in the 50s. So, they want us to be single figures before they really want to start opening up again. So,
So when you say in the 50s, is that like new cases a day kind of thing?
correct.
Man, we were getting that here in like individual towns. Everything's
so as a
relative.
country, so we've got Western Australia, South Australia, Tasmania, Queensland, the Northern Territory, ACT. Most of those have not had a new case in weeks. They are so, and like the borders around, you can't, at the moment, Victoria is its own entity because every border around it is locked, but you can't enter West Australia, you can't enter South Australia, you can't enter Queensland. If you do want to enter any of those states, you have to do a forced lockdown for 2 weeks. So you go into isolation that you have to pay for yourself for 2 weeks in a hotel. And, that's why it's been out. That's why, as I was saying before we started recording, there we go. Our daily numbers have just come in. Let's just have a look at that.
So how do they enforce that? Because here in the States, we have the same thing. If you go to any of the states that are on the travel ban list, you are quote unquote, it's a 2-week mandated, self-quarantine. There's no way that they're enforcing that.
They are here because all the borders, their border control, like particularly the New South Wales Queensland border, because the New South Wales Queensland border is like cuts towns in half. The way that it's set up is between the top of New South Wales and Queensland. There's a town like Coolangatta, Tweed Heads are either side of the border. So, like you drive around about in Queensland, and you go from Queensland to New South Wales and back to Queensland again. Like it's that weird. So trying to enforce that has been a major nightmare in that respect. But they've done an amazing job because, as I was saying, the AFL have moved all their teams to Queensland so they can play out the finals and then play in the grand final next month as part of it. So
like the NBA here.
Yeah, correct. Like the NBA hub in Florida is similar to what they've done here. So the numbers have come in today. We've got 43 new cases today, and we've had 9 deaths. So, which is tragic. But
it's horrible.
When you're talking about your numbers there, 43, that's in all of Victoria?
All of Victoria.
And how many people live in Victoria?
That's a really good question. I think the Victorian population is around 4 to 5 million.
6.359.
Oh, it wasn't too bad. I was in the 6.35. There you go.
So less than Manhattan.
Well, and that's an older number. It's September 2017 is what I Googled real fast. But like, can you guys hear them?
So and then you got New South Wales, which is the state above us, which is now struggling to. They've got, because the border has been a hard thing to enforce there because, again, towns and everything else, they managed to get people that have managed to sneak through, and they've had outbreaks in, like one person went from Victoria to New South Wales. They had an outbreak, which then has caused them ongoing problems as a result. So New South Wales is effectively still a hot zone in that respect. So, but yeah, it's scary stuff, but they're trying to do the best they can. I mean, we're seeing our numbers dropping. I mean, that's a great drop today. That's probably our second lowest number since July, I think. So like it's slowly happening, and we will get to a point where we'll probably get to hopefully single figures, but we've had problems with aged care outbreaks and all this kind of stuff. So it's been really difficult for a lot of people. Like mental health is a big issue for so many at the moment. And it was Are You OK Day yesterday here in Australia. And we're trying, everyone's been trying to help each other and stuff like that, because the first lockdown was tough, but then to go back into it again has been really tough. So
yeah, it's uncharted territory, and it's going to be like a state of mental being that most people have never dealt with before and hopefully never will again. But yeah, it's definitely, I mean, quarantine fatigue was a running joke almost after, the first month of what was going on, and look how far in we are now. So
yeah,
I just hope your healthcare and mental health care system is better than ours.
Look, it's certainly getting better, and they're putting more money into it, and they're making a concerted effort to do the most they can. And it is available for people. Like we have great helpline systems like Lifeline and things like that, and Beyond Blue, and they're great to help people like that. So there is ability to reach out, but they did release an interesting statistic recently. Everybody's been saying that they think suicides have been up because of this, but the numbers haven't really jumped. So they believe that where they thought there would be a massive spike, particularly coming into this second wave, it hasn't jumped anywhere near as much. So I think it's still hard losing people to mental health, but the fact that it hasn't been a massive spike, I think, has been good. But the unemployment rate is going up as well, which is hard because more and more places are going to having to close. Particularly, the government have come up with some funding to help with JobKeeper and JobSeeker, but it's been hard, and particularly for the motor industry. Like, I really feel for them because they've had to close every dealership. There's no serviceability. So the point that's being raised, particularly here in media in Australia at the moment from the automotive side, is what happens to scheduled servicing? Like, we've been closed now for almost 6 weeks. How do you, if your car was supposed to be serviced in that time, like, sure, you're not driving it as much, but there's going to be a massive block. That's 6 weeks. It's going to be close to 12 weeks by the time we reopen. That's a big backlog of car servicing to be done.
That right there is really interesting because Ross works in vehicle servicing and he's worked the whole time, haven't you?
Yes, I have, but not everybody has. I mean, we've been fortunate to stay open, but even in our little, corner of the earth here, we're seeing a lot of people who are just pushing things back or didn't take their appointments when they had them because they didn't want to leave. They didn't want to take the chance, and that's fine. And I mean, it's going to be really tough for all the small shops that are going to have to pick up the slack and try to keep the doors open and all that. But it's also interesting to see how the manufacturers are going to respond because a lot of them have prepaid maintenance, and that maintenance has to be allocated or completed within a certain amount of time. And if it's not, then it expires. So it'll be very interesting. I don't know how it works down there, or, with the manufacturers in Australia. The remaining manufacturers in Australia.
There aren't any.
Where there are the local production, but
it's very interesting.
A lot of them did extend their warranty. A lot of the brands were extending their warranty by at least 3 months. There's been no word where they've done it. They'll do it again because of it's mainly been Victoria that's been affected by it. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. I mean, I hope that when they open, there's a massive rush and everyone's booking their cars back in to be able to do this sort of stuff. But yeah, the fact that the servicing was allowed for, they're saying that allowed for those that are working in the industry. So, medical and those that are essential. But as far as I'm aware, I know most dealerships are pretty much closed or running on a very, very small skeleton staff. So,
yeah. I mean, I work at a dealership and we were fortunate to keep our staff. I know some other local dealerships cut everybody that they didn't have to keep and then reduced hours. So yeah, it's a weird world.
Are you guys seeing that it's better now, or is it still? Are you obviously still down on what you would probably do this time last year? But
no, things they're like right where they were last year somehow.
Okay.
People here took it and this is as much a reflection of, culture and society in the Northeast as it is the customer base. But people took things very seriously at first and really reeled back. And it was really only essential workers who were having things done. And then over the last probably 2 months, I think everybody is cautiously, but starting to revert to something resembling normal. So people are going on trips and coming in and saying, I'm going on a road trip. I need this, and this checked. So it's almost, or if not almost, then like right at where it was this time last year, which is, it's good for business, but it's scary to see.
Yeah.
So
we had a weird conversation at work the other day because I work at a construction company and we have agreements in place for 2020. And because of the current situation, it's not going to happen in 2020. So they're like, we'd just like to push those to 2021. And we're like, okay. And they're like, all that other stuff we'd planned for 2021, we also still want that to happen in 2021.
Oh boy.
They were kind of like 2020, the rest of it might be not as full as we would have hoped, but hopefully as we can get through it and get to the next job, there'll be plenty of them waiting for us.
But hope you all want to do a lot of overtime next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of how it was pitched to us. They were like, "Wait, you might not do marketing anymore. We might get you a hammer." And I was like, "That's a bad idea. You haven't seen me with a wrench."
Watching old Top Gear recently, and Clarkson, they're building a catering, and Clarkson's just banging the seat in.
I think that was his like long running bit. Like as long as he had a hammer, he could do something.
It's definitely a bit because left to his own devices, he could probably do okay. In the same way that like the thing about May being a slow driver, left to his own devices, he's like perfectly capable race car driver. But
I don't know about perfectly capable race car driver, but like he's not abominable. Like he's
right.
Race car drivers are a different breed. Like
play it up for the sake of entertainment.
Yes, that's everything now. So
right. So and on that bombshell, let's talk about the Grand Wagoneer.
Yes,
that was my best segue ever. Just saying.
Nicely done.
So Jeep released the Grand Wagoneer. Did we talk about this?
We have not talked about this.
We have not talked about it.
We talked to Texas Dave last week, and why would we?
Why would
we do that?
So the Grand Wagoneer concept has been long coming. We've known about it for a while. They've been testing mules forever, and it's been in their product planning since. Nice! Wow, look at that. For all of us on video, Chris has shared the screen. It is beautiful. Well,
turns out I figured out a way to cut down on editing time and dropping in images.
Let me double back and just say the integration of that on your end was beautiful. Yeah. The vehicle, not so much. And this is going to be good because Joel is the only one on our Hooniversal opinion that had kinder things to say about it. So
I didn't really read everyone else. I prefer not to read everyone else's opinions because then I don't get swayed. So I was late to the party.
But that's good because I wrote it and then I watched everybody else's input filter in and I was like, oh no.
I was ready to go first, I think, when you put it out. And it's like, no, I'm not going to read anyone else. I'm going to go my own thought. Because we talked about it on the other podcast that I do, which is an automotive one. We talk mainly about news and stuff like that. So I kind of already had a few thoughts on it. But yeah, I'm the only one that really liked it.
Yeah, it's an interesting design. So the long and the short of it is it's a 3-row SUV based on the Ram 1500 platform. It's supposed to be Jeep's quote-unquote pinnacle of luxury to compete with like Range Rover and I guess whatever else fits in that category.
So full disclosure, I have done zero research of the Grand Wagoneer. I saw a picture of it, and I thought it looked like the rear 3/4 angle looked to me like the Rivian, the R1S.
Oh yeah,
it should look more like that.
And then at that moment, the rest of the world entered my brain, and I was like, I didn't even write for the Universal Opinion piece, and I love writing for those things.
But the rear is very non-Jeep. That's the thing. You look at it. I actually think it looks Lincoln Navigator kind of style.
That's what my dad said when I sent it to him. See, I see two things that I can't unsee. I see Durango, and I see a symmetrical version of the asymmetrical Discovery, and I can't see anything else.
Okay, yeah, I see. So a Durango's not a Ram 1500 frame, though, is it?
No, Durango is a stretched Grand Cherokee frame.
Is it really?
Stretch Grand Cherokee?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's what is the WK? It's WK that's out right now, right?
Sure.
Yes. Yeah, WK. I think it's a stretched WK2. I'm fairly certain.
Third generation is a WK2. That's what.
So this is the first time that Jeep is using the Ram 1500 platform, which is a great platform, and there will be undoubtedly air suspension and coils and everything. The technology on the inside, I think, looks great. It's it's a step up from Grand Cherokee. It has its own vibe to it. It looks very modern. There's screens everywhere. They kind of took something from Ferrari. Now Ferraris have the little screen on the passenger side. They just straight up
just a little screen. It's quite big.
There's more screenage in here than in my freaking apartment.
My only frustration with that, as being a father of 4, Stop touching stuff is something I say all the time. Like,
You'll need to keep the Windex and a cloth in the center console, so you can just keep cleaning it every time that they
some of the
touch it.
brands
we
give
have
you
invested
a
in lens
cloth or
wipes.
something. That's a good idea.
Computer lens wipes.
There will be a child safety setting for everything.
Yeah.
But the screens look good. It definitely, it has the Grand Cherokee vibe to it, but brought up a notch, which is exactly what they're going for. I have two problems with it. Problem one is the concept wheels undo all of the off-roadiness that is the Jeep brand's heritage. And, if they're ever going to make something that's quote unquote trail rated, those wheels are not it. And I know Land Rover gets away with it with big wheels and low profile tires, but it's just, it does a disservice to like the Trailhawks and the Rubicons and all those.
This
really
is the pretty one.
It is the pretty one.
It's the big spec pretty one concept. You then have to look at what are they going to do for, like you say, like a Trailhawk or God forbid, a Trackhawk. But
there will be, probably.
Yeah. But you got to look at it that this is the pretty one. It's the top spec. It's got everything in it. It's strange though that there's no mention in the press release, and unless I really missed it, but I read through it, there's no mention to the roof pattern at all. It talks about the glass roof, but there's no mention about that pattern in the roof, which I thought was interesting as well.
I think will it make it to production is the big question there.
Yeah, it's a concept. So.
It's a concept, and there is. So everybody, not everybody, because Joel felt differently, but the large complaint on the internet, and I felt the same way, was that it doesn't have any defining characteristic that makes it really look or feel like a Jeep, aside from the 7-slot grill, which is, it looks to me like they plucked the Cherokee grill and threw it onto something larger.
Or blinged it up, really.
That too. So there's nothing distinctive to make it a Jeep, and then there's nothing distinctive about it.
There's nothing more bling than a light up entire front end.
Correct.
Just ask the Mercury Sable.
Yeah, I mean, it looks cool, but you turn the lights on, and the front end, the lower bumper is straight from a Durango. Like, it has the same exact, shape to the air inlets, which are probably covered and not actually functional. And the headlights look kind of like the Acura Jewel eyes or whatever they are.
I need to be faster at this.
They're bedazzled. Bedazzled. Yeah.
Was that vajazzled?
I didn't say that.
Okay, just checking.
Nope, that didn't come out of my mouth.
I may have been watching reruns of Blue Mountain State recently. So.
Oh, where?
Netflix.
It's on Netflix?
I think so.
Have you seen the movie?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
The Rise of Thadland?
The Rise of Thad, yeah. Blue Mountain State was amazing. So anyways, I very much look forward to a Grand Wagoneer being for sale. I think the large enthusiast population was hoping for the original, just modernized, and this isn't it. But if there's an off-road like a good Trailhawk version, maybe this will be it. It's just they came out swinging with the Escalade competitor and not the Defender 110 competitor. Do
you think a lot of people's issue is they released the Grand Wagoneer? It's a Jeep product, and there is not one press photo with this thing anywhere near the dirt.
They are all cityscapes, which is...
They're either cityscapes or outside LA or at my fancy house in the hills.
Mm-hmm. Right. It's a Malibu car, not a mountain car. And I'm sure you guys will agree, we don't doubt for a second that it'll kick ass off-road when it's actually on the right tires and, in 4 low. It's just, it doesn't feel... I'm sure you'll get like a Quadra-Track or something in there.
God, I hope
but if they had swapped this whole thing out for the press release for like an updated Escalade or something like a Navigator, nobody would have questioned it. It just doesn't say Jeep, and that's my problem. I mean, it's not my problem. I'm never going to be able to buy one because they're like fucking $100,000.
Yeah,
That's
they're
like
great.
6 figures for a Jeep.
You can spend 6 figures on a Trackhawk.
I really like this house.
Yeah, the house is amazing. Just holding my hand up and I'm covering up the Jeep and imagining like
Let me at her.
Like an old school FJ in the parking lot and stuff.
Old school FJ, like an Icon FJ.
Yeah.
Or like even like one of the new Defenders would look killer in front of it. But this just looks like a Durango and a Suburban and a Cherokee fornicated. And I don't know how all 3 of them made something, but it made this.
So I commented on one of Jeff's YouTube videos the other day because he drove the 2021 Suburban?
Yes.
Yeah.
I can never remember the years on this stuff. All my shit's old.
My shit's old.
It is.
My newest for this shit.
My newest car is 7 years old. Like, but what my point being, like, the Sequoia is kind of rounded and ugly, and it has been since 2008. But if you were to put a Sequoia next to this Grand Wagoneer, next to a modern Suburban, next to a modern Ford Expedition Max, like, they all kind of look the same again.
Really do. And the Sequoia, your Sequoia looks exactly, you were talking about this recently, but it looks the same as a brand new Sequoia. So it's kind of a testament to that design and also to how washed out it's getting.
Yeah. Like,
still needs those bronze wheels too, Chris.
Oh, homie, I looked for them the other day. I just can't afford them.
$14 at Home Depot buys you a rattle can.
Well, so my current issue is I don't like the fact that they're, what are they, 22s or 20s? Like they're good size.
Really?
Yeah, they're really big. Give me a second. I've got
the one from the Heritage Edition.
The Heritage Editions are 18s.
Okay.
But the ones that are on it right now, because it's the Platinum Edition, are
on your Sequoia.
Yeah, are 20s.
They're 20s.
Yeah. So it's all well and good. Like, it works. Like, it rides really nice. I'm trying to find a picture of it right now. But when I look at it for like off-road stuff, I don't want that. I want, here we go. There's Rugrats.
You probably want 18s, don't you?
I want 18s, and so the Heritage Edition ones are 18. So these are the 20s that it has right now.
They look proportionally right, which is weird.
Yeah, it doesn't look oversized. Too big. And when you look at an 18 on it, it also doesn't look too small. Like, for whatever reason, this truck is doing well with that.
That's a good-looking truck.
When you then compare it to so when all of like the Ford stuff kind of went a little more square and the Chevy stuff went a little more square, this thing stayed this shape, and it didn't really do it. I can't. Yeah, here's I do have the Photoshop.
I think I've really looked at the Sequoia body in quite a while.
So good.
And it's actually really good.
It gets me on the hood is what gets me. It's kind of got like it's like they went like let's do Porsche pontoons, but like we'll just kind of like smooth them out across the whole hood. Like, there's an actual like divot in the middle of the hood that bugs me. And this is completely random stuff. This stuff is still old.
I mean, you could probably sell the 20s. Somebody will probably buy the 20s.
Well, my brother-in-law discussed them because he has. Oh, that's not a good picture. I can't put that up. There's less kids in this one. And my wife won't make an appearance in this one. So here's the hood thing that bugs me. I don't know if you can see it. Kind of like right across here.
Yeah.
There's like it's like an indentation. Like,
it's like inverse power bulge.
Yeah. When it
power
rains, when it rains really hard, there's actually like I don't know if it's an air gap or whatever, but like water will collect on the hood there, but not wash up over the windshield. Like, it creates like this puddle effect.
Like a vacuum.
I don't know if vacuum's right, but it's just
maybe not.
we're definitely not aerodynamic scientists, so we don't have to worry about Bernoulli's principle or whatever there.
No.
Is Bernoulli's principle air or is that water? Oh, I can't remember.
Oh God, I haven't taken physics in so long.
I don't know. It's been a long time since I've been to school.
Yeah.
But so what comes out of this is that the 18-inch wheel from the Land Cruiser Heritage Edition is so it's an 18 by 8, but it's the same bolt pattern. It's the same lug and bolt pattern, spacing and offset as the 20.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be the same overall size and shape, but I'd be able to get more sidewall out of the tire.
Yeah, exactly. You'd be able to get bigger sidewall, bigger tire to put on it as well.
More
So
meat.
There were some like 5-spoke Sequoia wheels that I really liked. I was like, ooh, I should get those, but they're 20s too. I was like, well, damn it. That's not then doing what I wanted to do. So
It's fine.
but my brother-in-law does have 18-inch wheels on his Tundra. And so he and I could share those.
Good. Which Tundra wheels are they? Some of the Tundra wheels are good.
I think they're just like a standard 5-spoke.
Okay.
Oh, that's my kid's thing. Okay. I was like, what is ringing? I can hear it. So I was looking at both of you to make eye contact. And
I know.
You were like,
First thing is like, where's the phone?
no.
I can see mine in front of you. It's not mine.
My kid may have used some potty words in the car the other day while he was singing a song out loud, and he shouted them as opposed to just getting quiet when he shouldn't. So he
Which
lost
song?
his phone.
I
I don't
Punishment.
remember. But it was the other name for a donkey is what got him in trouble.
Nice.
Because he was like, ooh, I'm going to get away with this one, and shouted it. And then on the way home, he yelled male anatomy part instead. And I was like, okay, that's 2 days. You can have it back Saturday morning.
I like the censorship. That's good.
Yeah.
Nicely done.
Well, not on his part, but on your part.
It's more about just like we've gone to remote school, and I can't really like fully trust him to be able to like like we've only been on since Tuesday, so we've had 3 days of remote school so far. I don't want to send him to school because pandemic and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I'm trying to have some understanding with the teachers who probably the school district was like, we're going to go back in person. 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 Holy shit. We're not going back in person. What do we do? Figure it out. And so it feels like they kept I'm going to call it a CRM tool around because so the teachers could send assignments through this and do other things here, but like it's too convoluted. It just needs to be like, I almost want to say, just go back to email. Send me an email every day of what I need to do. Because each teacher posts it in a different location. And then like the teachers, and then they have the meetings through Zoom. So the teachers that send it through Zoom or send an email with the meeting ID and the password, that's easy. I can write that on a Post-it note and hand it to a kid. Or I can forward an email.
Yeah. So,
other ones load links into the CRM tool that only I have access to, or they're in different spots. And so I'm just trying to tell them how to get online and then let me work.
So there's a great tuition program called Blackboard.
Yeah. No.
And you can do all of that, and it's one program.
Middle school teacher I taught.
Yeah.
10 years. So. Blackboard's kind of dated. I don't know if they've updated it or not. I've been out for a while.
Even so, you could effectively do all of that on Blackboard without the headaches.
My thing with it today, like the kindergartner was supposed to be on at a certain time. It was 10 minutes past that time. I had looked everywhere. I hadn't received an email from the teacher. I called the building where I know she's at to get her to at least, and she sends me this chunk of something that I've got to find out where this chunk of something is posted because it's everything I want to know every day. But I can't find where she has it hidden. And it's not her fault per se, but it's really, really frustrating.
It's like people are complicating things because they've never done it before.
Yeah. Like just what is the simplest way to get this achieved? You can send me an email every day with a Zoom link and then I will join. Like that's all it has to be.
Easy.
Like it doesn't, she's like, these are the objectives we're going to achieve today. I don't give a shit. I just want my kid to be online.
Right. Just give me a status report afterwards.
Yeah.
That's it.
Like if he gets on a Zoom call with you and you guys watch the Muppets for 40 minutes, I don't care right now.
Just let it happen.
These educational goalposts that we put in place, like they're all figurative. Like nothing's literal right now. Like just, can you teach him ABC 1, 2, 3? Yes.
Right.
Like, anyway.
Sorry. It's almost like there's zero expectation. So anything is better than what could be.
Yeah. That is 100% my position here. As long as you have him interacting with you for a period of time throughout the day, I'm not going to call and complain. If you make it so hard that I can't get on, I don't know. How much space do you think is going to be in the third row of a Grand Wagoneer, like behind it?
But by the length of it, you would think it would be decent.
What's a Ram 1500 wheelbase?
Probably roughly the same amount as, probably like
Expedition
Durango.
Max wheelbase.
I don't think
Ram
so.
1500 wheelbase is 3573 millimeters.
Yeah.
Sorry, I should have converted.
How can you do it in like fucked up metrics?
So 140 inches to 144 inches based on which bed you get, I think, in cab. So
only 15 inches shorter than my car.
Oh, actually, that's probably the Aussie version because that's come off an Aussie site.
Okay. So when I look at the Ram wheelbase, so that's 140 to 144. The Ford Expedition Max wheelbase is 131.
Okay. I wonder if they tell us.
If it's based off the Ram 1500 chassis, even the short wheelbase is 9 inches longer wheelbase. Like that's
that's
the
have
problem
fun.
with these pictures is
breakover angle. Good God.
Well, I mean, what's a Power Wagon's breakover angle?
Power Wagon has 35s and dual lockers.
And a winch.
A solid front axle and a winch.
Don't get me into the axle thing again. I keep getting tagged in stuff about independent front suspension. I was like, I don't care, guys.
Oh God.
Like I made one comment that my Sequoia was cheaper than a Land Cruiser, and the amount of people that have sent me things about it doesn't have a solid. I know it doesn't.
Solid axle.
Comparing the suspension on the Sequoia to a Land Cruiser.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So it's like
it's okay. You lost 5% of your maximum flex. It's okay.
See, I put it at like it's 15% less capable than the Land Cruiser is kind of what I was thinking. Like if a Land Cruiser does 100% of everything, the Sequoia probably does like what 85% of everything.
Right.
Like
yeah.
The extreme flexed rock crawling bouncing shit, it won't get done.
That you're not gonna do.
Which I'm not. The sad thing is, in recent weeks, I've gone even more and more tame with like my off-roading desires. Because Joel, I've been on a huge kick for travel trailers.
Oh no, I've been listening. Ever since you had the teardrop trailer. I've been listening to hear what you've been thinking, and every time I see anything relating to, I think I've tagged you in a couple of things relating.
You tagged me in a couple of ones. I'll
Yeah.
never be able to afford the what is it? Is it the Brutus? Is that the Australian one?
I think is it?
No,
What
you
I
should
tagged
do.
you in? I think it was.
If you can't sell a Land Cruiser, gut it, pull the front axle off, and turn it into a trailer.
I have seen those done, actually.
And you think
No
the hate
fucking
mail's
way.
bad about
Seriously?
suspension?
Yes.
The hate
Wait,
mail about
hold on.
destroying it being worse.
So this is the Brutus thing, or Bruder. Sorry, God, I get it wrong,
Dude, that suspension is uncomfortable because 99% of off-road vehicles don't have suspension like that.
The wheels
look
on
at
that
this
I just saw on a truck today.
What the fuck?
Like
Yeah,
the
right?
amount of play they get is very impressive,
That's crazy. Wait, okay, hold on.
and they're
also
huge.
I need to see the Land Cruiser.
I love it. The Defender towing it. That's cool.
Yeah, is that a 190?
No, that's bigger, I think, isn't it?
Oh my God.
I don't know.
That horrible. It's horrible. I can't do it.
It's horrible. What'd you get?
Yeah. I just searched Land Cruiser body as trailer and it's not good.
Oh, the 80
not-
series ones I think are great.
It's scary. It's like the guys with like prowlers who carry those stupid
Those little ones in the
trailers.
background.
Yeah.
So the ones
Trailer.
the only ones I've seen one that had, I found one that has like it chopped off at the rear door, but that's not the one I saw before. It was chopped off at the firewall.
Oh,
I just saw that one.
Yeah.
and what the interior was just the whole thing was storage.
They stripped the interior out of the inside. They chopped it off at the firewall.
And because it's an actual frame and not a unibody, you could theoretically do it.
Theoretically, I could just cut the front end off. I could clear the body and build my own shell on the back of it if I wanted to. Like, it's a fully box frame, isn't it?
Share with the class.
Share with the class.
It's so bad.
Chris, I've got a mate in Sydney that's building his own teardrop trailer.
Is he?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Share screen.
Yeah, I need to check and see what his latest progress is. But yeah, he's been building his own. Oh, that's cool.
Look at how... So I don't think this is on the frame because this right here is where the Land Cruiser's frame is. Like, it fills in space. Like this...
It looks like it's been put on a box trailer frame.
It does. That black spot where my mouse is. Can you guys see my mouse? I didn't even.
We can. Careful with your clicks.
Yeah. Pornhub. No, wait, no. So this like black metal right here is actually the end of the Land Cruiser frame. So the fact that there's nothing here tells me this is probably just sitting on a regular trailer frame or whatever. Like, so he just put some square steel together.
The way the suspension looks on it looks like a box trailer sitting underneath it.
Probably is.
Yeah, I was trying to see if there are any more pictures on that.
You could do it if it came to it.
I just don't want to.
I'm joking. I would never in a million years actually endorse that. Terrible.
My favorite part is like so we talked to the guy from Brio, and he was like, I'm getting my own. What was it? A Wolf Pup.
Wolf Pup.
Sorry, I found it. Forest River Cherokee Wolf Pup 16 BHS.
Like, God, what a mouthful.
Yeah. Exactly. But his, come on, view larger. Oh yes, I'm gonna share.
Enhance. Enhance.
So this is what he is dealing with.
Oh, that's cool.
So giant queen bed, but like, I guess those are pillows. At first I was like, are those like couch arms? Like, how is that working there? But those are actually two pillows just on the bed.
Yeah.
The dinette will still become a single, and then he's got dual bunks over here.
Oh, they're dual on top of each other.
Yeah, there's one on top of the other, and then he has the full shower, the toilet. But his doesn't.
No door for the toilet, just right open.
I'm assuming there's some.
It'd be one of those blinds.
Yeah. Some kind of
clear blind
shelf or curtain, something there. But when you look at the like picture from the outside, so like what we just like, all of that fits in here.
Yeah. Wow.
That doesn't look like it should fit in there.
It doesn't. No.
Which makes
it's like everything's like 50% size. They put it on a copier and just shrunk it down.
Yeah, that's. So I've been doing way more research. I think I found one that like, oh man, now we're going down a rabbit hole. It had fold out bunks because my issue is 6 of us, like 6 and 7 sometimes. And so like a pop-up camper didn't sound like I would want that. And of course I'm trying to talk and search at the same time.
I take it the Land Cruiser is not selling, Chris.
It hasn't sold yet. I've had numerous conversations with numerous people. One guy was like, "Can you meet me at my farm?" And I said, "Yes. Tell me when." And then he just went radio silent for like 9 days. And I was like, "Do you still want it?" And he was like, "No, things have changed."
It's about right.
The latest guy is up in Minnesota. He wanted to do a PPI and a compression test on it. And I was like, cool, let me know where. And then he was like, wait, has the head gasket been changed? And I was like, no, but I did a Blackstone test like, I don't know, a year ago. And they said there was no coolant in the oil. So that means the head gasket's okay.
Probably
like, cool.
Okay.
Do you still have that test? And I was like, no, I threw that away.
They have the record though. You may be able to call them and get the record.
They may. I've just
they might have it on their file.
Freaking remote school is my only concern with that is like it's probably long enough ago that he's going to want another one. So
probably
I'll do that. I don't know. It's just moving slow.
Happens.
Slow as possible. As we approach winter, maybe it'll pick up. I don't know.
Probably.
If it doesn't, I also don't really care right now. Like, it's just kind of.
It's not like you need to sell it.
I drive it once or twice a week right now. I'm trying to keep it going. I can't find my fold out bunks. That's also why I'm trying to talk. And I found the lady like doing the picture of it, but that's not. You guys have the floor plan? Yeah, like here's kind of what it looks like.
Damn.
She has this, like the bunk just like folds out from there.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So you still get the full interior hard side. I don't think we can play YouTube videos in a YouTube video.
Jayco.
Yeah, so it's a Jayco. And then there's just like a brace to it on the inside, and you're done. Like,
why don't you get one without that and put a rooftop tent on top of the trailer?
Because that would be an additional cost to the trailer.
What if the trailer's less expensive without the fold out?
So from what I can find right now, they're all expensive. Like there's none that.
That's not a surprise.
What about if you put a tent on top of the whatever your tow vehicle?
Yeah, it's just even the tents are like multiple thousands of dollars now.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Well, the good ones are.
I can.
You can get one on Amazon for like $300. It'll fall apart after your first use, but
I don't want to do that then. Oh God, what is this thing called? It's considered like a hybrid travel trailer because it's part like pop up but part not. And also, Forest River makes like all travel trailers. Like there's like only, and I think we talked about this quite a bit.
It's like three companies.
that
Yeah,
make
Chris
everything.
froze.
Damn it! I'll come back.
Bound to happen. Screenshot time.
I'll come back. I'll come back.
He's gonna come back and it's just gonna blast through everything he said.
I'm here. I'm back. Did I fast forward yet?
Favorite thing. Yes.
Okay. Did I do the fast forward? So yeah, I don't know, because those Jayco things probably aren't great at getting dirty, but it still makes me think about the axle-less suspension systems
and you can adapt that, right? You can bolt those up.
I think so. I think if it's, I don't know. I would have to talk to the axle-less company, which is Timbren, makes those axle-less trailer axles. It's just so weird. It's just, yeah.
Someday.
Yeah, everything right now is just trying to getting away. Like, I just want to go away.
I
don't want to be around anyone.
I know JetBlue sent an email out yesterday that all flights are $49 to $99. And I looked at Sam and was like, where are we going and when are we going? Like, I don't even care.
Yeah.
Where would you go?
Colorado's not on the list.
Okay.
Well, because you know people there. Like,
I do know people there.
Are there any states that aren't on the list?
They are not on the travel ban list.
Colorado's not?
They're not.
Okay.
So, yeah. So, if you went to Colorado, you could then go back to Connecticut and work.
We could.
Theoretically.
Yep. No quarantine time.
But
theoretically,
if we really think about it, you're going to be mixing with people from all other states in Colorado too. So
theoretically, yep.
That's probably should be on the list then.
Probably. I don't want to talk about this. Moving on.
At least Colorado's not burning as bad.
No, not anymore. I don't think they got a lot of snow and it kind of quelled things, but there was a lot of fire up
Denver
outside
got
Denver.
snow the other day.
Yeah, Denver went from like 95 or 100 degrees down to like 9 inches of snow over 48 hours.
Yeah, we went from last weekend. It was like mid to upper 80s, but it felt like mid 90s. Mm-hmm. So Joel, upper 20s to lower 30s.
I understand.
I'm trying to show off and see like I know Celsius.
Yeah, that's right. You learn to do it when you're there. When we were there in 2017, when we drove to Vegas, we were making notes, so we know 104 is about 40. So
yeah. So, but we were like, it was over the weekend. It was warm, like and humid. It was hot, and then like Tuesday hit, and it's been in like the 50s and rainy every day, to the point where like I literally went from shorts, sandals, and t-shirts to jeans, t-shirt, sweatshirt. Like, but
he's
the
definitely
Midwest.
Still here.
Next week it'll be in the 80s again. Like It changes. Like,
We'll just wait for him to catch up.
man.
Yeah, pretend to freeze so when he comes back, we look frozen.
I never freeze. My image freezes, but I hear everything.
I know. That's why it's funny.
Oh my gosh. Is there any other new car news? Was Wagoneer in?
No.
There's a
no,
new.
there was.
Well, you don't get it, but there's a new. They've released pictures of the new Golf Wagon and the new Golf Ultra.
Yeah.
Ooh, that
We don't get it. No chance.
Golf Wagon.
Oh, there's rumored that they're going to build the Bronco Raptor.
They will.
They have to, don't they?
They have to.
Yeah.
And they have to put a V8 in it eventually.
Yeah.
Um,
so.
Is it the 2021, Joel?
What?
For the Golf to All Track?
Yes, I think so.
The CNBC story I found for it says VW pounds another nail in the coffin of the station wagon. I was like, I don't think that's the one I wanted to find there, bud.
Not quite.
This one
funny.
seems a
Oh, there
little
was the
more-
cool Project Galanda wagon that Mercedes created.
Yeah, that was interesting. Is this the wagon?
My brother had an all track.
Yeah, I think that's it. But there's actual finished pictures of it.
Yeah, it looks good. My brother's all track was, I mean, it was a boring car to drive, but it was a fantastic car.
Golf wagon. Press
Yeah, they do that and the Passat here in Oz.
Well, we're getting the Mercedes wagon, all-wheel drive, a Fied off-roady, all-road, whatever it is.
Yeah, that thing's cool, but it's very expensive.
They're so expensive, like $100,000. Okay, so that's the Golf
That's the Golf wagon.
Sportwagen.
And then, what was the other one? The Mercedes Geländewagen thing?
Yeah. That's it. 2020.
Is that the concept one?
Yeah.
No,
where is
it?
it?
It
No,
was
it's
like
not
it looked like a
It's a
race car,
weird-
didn't it?
Yeah, it was a weird. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
like
there it is.
That's it.
Oh,
was
that thing's so
horrible.
cool.
Yeah.
It's a Hot Wheels. There's no suspension travel.
Yeah.
It looks like a toy, but it actually is full size because there's a picture in the press kit of it being pushed into a trailer.
Like that's
That's
a
like-
parking space, like in a
Yeah.
garage, actually.
It's a weird looking thing.
It's a strange vehicle.
And there was talk that they're going to do a 2-seat Jimny as well, but you guys don't get that, do you?
No, don't rub it in.
There was a new
Ugh.
Twitter account the other day I found, and it was called I will try and find it.
It was called I Will Try and Find It.
Nope. They've been doing like Facebook and Instagram for a while, I think, and then they were like, "What about this for a Twitter profile?" And they're like, "Are we doing this right?" And I think Travis Okolski was like, "Yes, this is exactly what you're supposed to be doing," because it was like, "Yes, here's the image that they were like, we don't know what we're doing." No, share the screen. We've never used Twitter before. How'd we do?
Oh.
That's pretty great.
That's cool.
Yeah, that is pretty great.
Jimny
mean-
pickups. That's awesome.
That's the best farm vehicle. If you just need something to run about on a farm.
I was just
Oh,
saying,
yeah.
because how loud are those tires?
Yeah.
Oh, you're not going on road with those tires.
But
those are-
they're a perfect farm vehicle.
Those are farm tires.
Yeah, they're definitely
That's pretty cool.
good.
Yeah, that's really cool.
All right, so I got about 5 minutes and then I got to skedaddle.
What?
Maybe 10. Maybe 10. I could probably push it to 10. But
Joel,
what else? What else should we cover?
Joel-
Let's talk about Joel.
Joel's driven actual vehicles.
Yeah.
I have.
You drove a Subaru? What do you?
Yeah, so I drove. So Subaru have got their hybrid. They're bringing hybrids versions of the XV, which is your Crosstrack, and the Forester. So I drove both of those back to back actually during one of our breaks in between lockdowns. And yeah, it was really cool. I like the XV, the Crosstrack. That thing was really cool. It was great fuel economy out of that thing.
How much range and power does the hybrid add?
It's designed more for fuel economy because it's designed to extend that low speed stop-start traffic sort of thing. So I could drive into my driveway and park purely in hybrid, and then the petrol would kick in depending on how you're driving it. So the fuel economy on the XV, I'm going to talk in litres. So it was about 6 litres per 100 Ks on the XV. And then the hybrid, the Forester was probably a little bit higher. It was more 8s to 9s, depending on. I didn't quite do as many Ks in the Forester, but the Forester is obviously a bigger car and had all the luxury spec. The XV was more sort of a mid spec. It didn't have the leather seats and electric seats and all that sort of stuff.
29, that's pretty good.
But the Forester hybrid was really cool. I really liked that. The size of it, the spec. I loaded it up and used it to do some running around with it, and it was really, really cool. The eyesight technology in that thing is absolutely brilliant. It does have a couple of off-road modes, which is interesting.
X mode.
Which I didn't have in the XV, but I'd be really keen to try it to see what it's like off-road, because the ground clearance in the Foresters is really, really good. But
it is. So is visibility.
The XV, me and another friend took it for a bit of a drive out down towards the Great Ocean Road in Victoria, just to do some filming and stuff. And it was amazing. The number of others that we saw while we were out there, it's the kind of vehicle that kind of works for that kind of market, those that are in that sort of outside of metro area, in more a country area, that wants something that's a little bit lifted, but still like a hatch. So yeah, they were both really impressive. The only downside I can see with both of them is because of the hybrid system, it loses spares. So there's no spare in either of them. It's only goo and a compressor.
Slime. Yeah.
Goo. Which is about the only sort of downside I can really see with that hybrid system. But it's really good in terms of the way that it works, in terms of the fuel economy. But it's very different to comparing it to, say, a RAV4, which is a more pure hybrid system in terms of the way that you definitely notice it when you drive it, with the acceleration and the braking and stuff like that. You do feel a little bit with the braking in them, but nowhere near as much as what you do with the RAV. So
they seem like good. I mean, the Forester and the Crosstrek are even just the gas powered ones. They're just great cars. They don't, they don't care what you throw at them, and they just do everything you ask. And it's such a natural fit to put a hybrid system in those cars. And I know there's been a hybrid Crosstrek very briefly before, but the consumer base, it just makes so much sense.
Yeah. For the fuel economy wise of it, and the fact that they're all-wheel drive, they're a great vehicle for that. And look, I seriously consider a Forester as a daily driver because of the space in it. Like, I couldn't believe how much space there is. And the S, which is the top spec that I had, was really, really well spec'd. It had everything in it. There was nothing that you would really kind of want to have. So yeah, that's the same color I had too.
Such a weird color. It's kind of great.
Yeah, but it's really nice. It photographs quite well and stuff.
They know their market and put it in the dirt.
Yeah. Yeah, well, all the American pictures are really quite nicely shot like that. I actually had a look at some stage and just to see what they'd done. And there was some cool stuff with what they'd shot with it, and pictures it with canoes on top and things like that. So
I think probably every single time I've gone hiking in the last 4 years, there's been a Crosstrek in the lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense. At least Subaru. Yeah, they get them in the dirt. They get them in the snow. Trying to find other stuff.
Do you remember when they launched the hybrid Crosstrek? They sent them, I don't know if it was Iceland or somewhere up there, but they sent them through 2.5 feet of water. It was nice. It was crazy.
Was it on electric mode so they wouldn't have to use the
I don't remember if it was this one or if it was the first gen, but it was I was up to the headlights. It was crazy.
Somebody had something on Twitter today of a DC bus going through the flooding. And there was a bow wave out in front of the bus that was so aggressive it was moving the cars parked along the street.
Oh my God!
From the bus. I might be rolling through my timeline on Twitter right now to try and find that again.
Yeah, I'm also looking for this Crosstrek picture right now.
That's not ideal that
so-
we're both looking for images.
I know. So Joel, tell us about what else you've driven while we.
So I also drove. It's not really SUV based, but I drove a Renault Megane RS as well,
Ooh.
which is their little hot hatchback, and it is a hot hatchback. It's a lot of fun to drive. But the cool thing I love about it, you know, is as much as it was great to drive, it's a chameleon. It's got the ability to put it in, like so many of these cars now, they have different modes. You can put it into like a comfort mode and it quietens the whole thing down. Mm-hmm. So you can sneak around the suburbs of a night time and not wake your neighbors and stuff like that. Or then just turn it into sports mode and just let it be obnoxious and just be absolutely unbelievable. So,
and what's it do? Suspension, steering, and is there an exhaust baffle it opens and closes?
Exhaust baffle and map and stuff like that. You know, gear shift map and stuff like that. So that thing was awesome. I love that thing. I've been wanting to drive one for a long time, and the current shape and model, the current shape of it is absolutely brilliant. It's the best I reckon it's ever looked. It's such a really good looking car. And then to go from
Jesus, oh, somebody's losing a job.
Yeah,
look at that Prius. Like those Priuses are heavy. There's a big battery in there. That wave is just.
But it moved that four-wheel drive as well.
Yeah, that bus is fine, but like everything else is screwed.
Wow, look at that wave.
Oh,
that's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Sorry, that one tickled me. And it's not YouTube, so we can't get yelled at.
That was cool. And then I drove the Renault Koleos as well, which is their big SUV, and I'm a big fan of this. That's behind. That's not the one I had, but that's one I had earlier in late last year to photograph for Renault. But it's a good looking thing, and it's such a practical car. It's got lots of space. It's really nice to drive. The engine's maybe slightly underpowered, but again, it's got every spec in it that you want. And yeah, it's a good looking thing, you know.
Yeah. The Renault you're talking about, so?
Yeah, this is the Koleos. So they're top of their range SUV, and it's, you know, it's a big seller. I like it.
How do you spell that?
Koleos.
L. Yeah. Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Pardon me. There's a hair in my mouth, and it's freaking me out. Okay, continue.
That one took me. If you'd have mentioned this to me in passing, I would have thought you were like pulling my leg. I was like, that's not a real car name.
What the?
That's it. Yeah. So when they upgraded it from the previous gen, it's like the new look, and it's a company look now. So there's also the Kadjar, which is the smaller version, and so they're related to X-Trail or Rogue for you guys, and Qashqai here. I don't know, you guys get Qashqai, but they're the same sort of platform. But this thing's just like, it's such a good looking car. Like the one I had was in white. Hey, there's my picture.
Is this it?
Nice.
The purple one above.
This one?
Yeah.
Nice.
Sweet.
And so is the one down the bottom right hand corner as well. And, so yeah, it's a good looking thing. The one I had, the current one I had was white, and it's such a good looking thing in white. Like, it really stands out. The Intens, which is the top of the range, has got the really nice rims on it. But yeah, I really liked it. The only thing it didn't have was AEB. Auto emergency braking. Sorry, not auto AEB. Like auto cruise.
Okay.
The radar guided.
Yeah, the radar guided cruise. That was about the only thing that I think I could pick fault with it. That like, it's got really good space. It's really comfortable. Like, lots of space in the second row.
It's got good hips.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the Lincoln Nautilus a little.
A little bit.
Angle.
Yeah.
Also, just backing up, the way you pronounce Kaleo, the first couple times I was still looking for that hybrid Crosstrek picture, and I thought you said Renault Clio. I was like, that's not an SUV.
No, Clio's their smaller hot hatch.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, very hot.
Sorry, I still thought we were talking about the Megane.
But yeah, no. So they've all been fun driving that. I had a whole bunch of other stuff lined up from Kia to drive before this latest lockdown. So I was a bit disappointed because I was looking forward to driving Seltos, and first time spending some time in a Stinger again, and that sort of stuff. So unfortunately,
I would love
that's
some
all
time
been
in a
put-
Stinger. I think Robbie recently drove the Seltos. Or
Yeah,
whatever
this
it's
is
supposed to
Seltos.
be.
I've seen like 5 of those in the last week.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah. I was really excited to get in behind the wheel
Only-
of that. And then
only-
obviously the Serato as well, which is their hatch.
Yep.
These, as much as we were going to give the Grand Wagoneer crap for its headlights, I don't know, man. Those are weird.
There's a lot going on
It
there.
looks better in person. You kind of need
Does
to
it?
see it. Yeah.
Is it-
I
is
saw
it-
the first-
I saw it at the auto show.
Does it still
definitely
have the
is.
Kia Soul thing where this light underneath the headlight is inset in a little bit? Like, is there an overhang?
I can't remember.
The
Can't
old
vouch
It's
for
been a
it.
while since I saw one in person, but when I first saw it, it was a black one. It was parked around not far from our place.
Don't really see a lot of Kia Souls anymore either, for that matter.
well,
No,
well,
because
now
they're only doing the EV now.
now they're all doing these squinty-eyed
Yeah.
headlights.
Doesn't look good.
Oh no! I'm sorry, I have the wrong car that I'm thinking of the overhang on.
Veloster.
Yeah, on
Yeah.
the old
The
ones.
first gen. Yeah.
Yeah, this overhang right here used to drive me nuts because it's just like I was like, I have some understanding of aerodynamic engineering. a gap that just holds air on the front of the car, like that's. That doesn't
Yeah.
So I think the idea was to try to make it look like a brake duct, but it's just
okay.
it isn't.
Doesn't really work.
Also, the Amazon review of the Veloster Turbo is 3.5 out of 5 stars.
Well, the major thing wrong with the Velociter is the 3-door aspect, which they got rid of with the newer ones, I think. Now they're all
It's still
coupes.
3.
Is
It's
it still 3?
I think so.
Even the N? Yeah, there it is. There's a door
it
handle.
is.
But yet, no door handle on this one.
It's not the worst thing in the world. It's just everybody that I know that's driven it is like, yeah, the driver's door is really big. Like you
Yeah.
can't actually squeeze out of it.
Like tight parking spots are probably not ideal for. You got to crawl to your passenger side smaller door.
But you have 2 doors to crawl out of.
You have options. Oh man.
So what else can we go
Well, I just want to touch on the fact that you guys talked about wind when you were talking to Matt. Smoking Tire.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I love that film.
The Whomper.
I was obsessed with that film when I was younger. I've watched it so many times. I actually now own it on DVD. And
So
yeah,
I was 12 when that movie came out. So that was
well, that's probably you and I are fairly similar in age, Chris. So I think
yeah.
that's
We're not
probably about the
far
same.
off.
Yeah,
So like for teenage years, like rewatching it now as an adult,
Yeah.
and I might have had an edible additive when I viewed it.
performance
recently.
enhancing drugs.
Um, holy shit! There's a lot of B-roll in that movie.
yeah, there is.
I want to like 80
Just
80
filler.
of the 90 minutes is them just doing stuff.
Mm.
Like there's no dialogue. It's just people.
I'm about to read the book. So when they film the race, the final America's Cup race at the end, and it may even be actually both races, the commentator that commentates both those
Yeah.
is the actual America's Cup commentator, Peter Montgomery.
Oh, that's
Is he
great.
really?
I've just bought his book to read, and I had to flick through it when it arrived the other day. Another slight advantage of being in lockdown is getting lots of reading done.
Advantage of this year.
And there's actually a chapter, or part of a chapter, where he talks about being in wind. That's it. There's the Wampa.
Yeah. So here's
So
my only. This is my giant gripe with Hollywood here. This is the backup sail that she had just stashed on board for no reason, but yet it's the most ornately designed sail
Yeah.
they have.
Exactly. Did you see my tweet to Matt?
I
some
did.
research.
I absolutely responded to you. You found the boat.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
Those
Camera.
guys had to be so wet and cold for all of
Oh,
that.
yeah.
As a film crew, that's like, how do I tag out of this?
Oh, having sailed, I know what it's like when it's not
It's
even the slightest thing of calm and whatever else. But yeah, it's I've never seen that poster before.
There were
That's,
multiple posters?
yeah, there normally is.
And here's the other thing with this. They never explained to us what kind of fancy design they did to the new boat to make it faster.
Yeah.
They just go like, here, we're testing the toy boat in a bathtub and in a river instead of the ocean.
Well, it was supposed to be, it's kind of built around the 80s America's Cup campaign where it went from 83 to 87, where the Australians won it in 83 and then the Americans won it back. So they kind of, they remit in the storyline that it's basically loosely based on Dennis Conner.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's pretty. It's so cool. I'm an America's Cup nerd. Like I could tell you where there are holes located around the world, and particularly in the US, where they are that have raced. And I've actually sailed on one as well. When we were in the States in 2007, I got to sail on USA 76 and actually stood at the helm and sailed. And my God, it was like a dream come true. It's like the most awesome thing. And we talk about performance cars and stuff, performance boats, like just the smallest turn on the tiller, and it responds. So like just brilliant. So yeah, but the boat that Geronimo is now in New York. And it's available for charters in New York Harbor. So
really,
yeah.
Maybe I'll once this is over, I'll take it out and just torment you guys since I've never seen the movie.
Oh, look, please do.
The best
USA 76 is based in San Francisco, so you can sail there. And then one of the old, there she is.
This is the Geronimo redone, Russ.
Okay.
So she was called America 2, but USA 46. So
you get from the bottom, it makes it.
Yeah, but
that was my response.
And then one of Dennis Conner's boats is actually based in San Diego as well. So we actually saw it was standing on down in the harbor in San Diego, and it sailed past. It's like, holy crap! I couldn't believe I just saw that. So yeah, Ross, you wrote a story about Long Way Up, didn't you?
I did.
I've been rewatching Long Way Round in the lead up to Long Way Up coming, and I know that you guys had on. Mental blank, bear with me. You had Andrew on from Jalopnik a while back. Yeah. Yep. And I haven't finished listening to the episode, but did he talk about SnowRunner beyond mentioning it once at the start of the game?
No, we didn't even get to SnowRunner.
I've been watching his videos on SnowRunner, which is cool, which is a great game. But watching Long Way Round, did any of you guys played MudRunner, the precursor to SnowRunner?
No.
So MudRunner's cool. It's like all these old style trucks that you drive in the mud, obviously.
They used to share stories on Jalopnik about that all the time.
So on Long Way Round, like the trucks in that actually remind me of the trucks from
that's pretty fun.
These big Russian trucks that the SnowRunner has more modern trucks. And brands and stuff like that but all the stuff in MudRunner was all these big, weird Russian trucks. So, like, this is just, I was watching, like, that one on the below your cursor there, that thing looks a bit like one of the ones they used to haul the bikes across a river in the middle of Mongolia.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, yeah, I just had to mention that. It's just quite funny.
That's
oh my God, I feel like I'm watching MudRunner.
Yeah. There was that giant Arctic thing they ran into in Alaska, too. And now I might be confusing Alaska trips.
I think you might be. Because they go straight through Alaska.
And that's right. They fly into Alaska.
Fly to Alaska, drive across a bit of Canada, then like down into Montana.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can find what
I'm in the middle of reading the Long Way Down book.
Oh, is it good?
It's, you get more stories from the stories that you rewatch. Like it's great. Long Way Down wasn't the same as Long Way Round, but it's still, I'm semi-obsessed with it. So it's worth reading.
I'm really intrigued to watch the new one just because the difference in time from production and, there's now drones available and stuff like that. So to be able to see the footage in this new one, I'm really, really intrigued to see the production value of
and
it.
The vehicles.
Well. Yeah.
And they pulled in Rivian too, right? So they're riding live wires supported by Rivians.
Yep.
Yeah. And then having to charge them as well.
Yep.
Yeah, that looked kind of sketch, but is it Apple TV?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm not subscribing to something else. I'm sorry, guys. You guys can tell me if it's good or not.
I know. I'll wait for it to become available elsewhere.
It's next week, I think.
Is it?
Yep.
But if it's like the other stuff on Apple TV, like you can, maybe not. I thought you could. Oh, there you go. That's cool.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That was like
at
a
least
rooftop
one
10
rooftop
on
10.
R1T.
Well, I immediately think about drag coefficient with an electric vehicle.
Right.
Worry about decreasing range.
Why didn't they put it on the bed?
Like right there?
Yeah, exactly. Well, there it is there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe there were some moments of pivoting.
Well, these must be like
interesting.
Are they going to be the first two production Rivian Utes that that have ever been like released. If these guys are driving that have driven it for this,
they got to be pre-pro. There's no way it's production.
Yeah, I think they're pre-pro. They're probably like pre-pro handbuilt. Like Rivian was like, here, take 2.
Take the perfect ones. Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It should be good.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Whenever it is that we can actually find it
next
not
week
on Apple TV.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is how long does it sit before it appears on other platforms?
I saw someone made a comment the other day of like Charlie Borman's life is just based on being Ewan McGregor's friend.
Yeah, but he did the Dakar thing by himself.
He did.
I was like, he's done enough. You just haven't heard about all of the other stuff because it doesn't like.
He's an actor in his own right, and he also he does his own charity stuff on his own. That's totally.
And he's done a lot of his own series as well.
He has. He does a lot of the exploratory, like the James May, like Our Man in Japan kind of stuff. Not to the same cultural investigation type.
Well, he came to Australia and did one through here as well.
Yeah.
Let's
get them on the show.
They're in promotion mode right now, I bet. I mean,
takes nothing to reach out and ask.
I'm going to send an email.
I don't even know who I'd send it to.
No, me either.
There's a PR firm somewhere.
Long way up PR. And on that note, good luck. And submit your email to Apple. Okay.
Yeah, that's not what we need to do. It's like trying to get somebody on the phone from Google. Not happening.
No.
Good luck.
You get a robot on the phone.
Sweet. Thanks, Joel. Cool. Thanks for coming on and talking to us.
Thanks
Joel.
You guys.
Always good to have you, dude.
Yeah, eventually I'll, start scheduling stuff and we'll get you back on again and you'll be released from your home eventually.
Yes. We can only hope.
So, Joel, where can we or other people find you?
You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Joel Strick Photo.
I thought he was just going to say you can find me at home.
You can find me at home.
You can find me in Victoria.
You can read my stuff hopefully very soon on more stuff on the Hooniverse because I've got lots of stuff I need to finish writing, and that's what I'm going to have lots of time to do. And then,
of us.
Yeah. But your actual stuff is actually appearing. My stuff is still sitting in Word waiting to be finished.
Oh, shit. I found an email for longer.
Oh,
Do it.
I
will. Okay.
I'm not going to cut that part of the show.
On that note, I have an email to send. All right. Well, Joel, thank you. We look forward to having you on again.
Thanks, guys. Good chatting again.
All right.
Thank you, Joel, so much.